The Patient is an American psychological thriller limited series created and written by Joel Fields and Joe Weisberg, who also serve as showrunners and are executive producers, along with Chris Long, Caroline Moore, Victor Sue, and Steve Carell. It premiered on August 30th, 2022 on FX on Hulu and concluded on October 25th. Consisting of 10 episodes, the show stars Carell, Domhnall Gleeson, and Linda Emmond. A therapist, played by Steve Carell, is held captive by a serial killer, played by Domhnall Gleeson, who seeks help to curb his homicidal urges. This is genuinely a superb limited series, something I was not expecting to find on the UK Disney Plus. However, something I'm very glad to have spent the time to watch. My plan is to keep this review as spoiler-free as possible. However, there are some things which are worth talking about. So if you wish to have no spoilers whatsoever, please do go watch the show and then come back and tell me what you thought. For anyone that is staying, please do give this video a big thumbs up if you like the review. Subscribe for more if you're new here as well. So, Steve Carell is one of those funny guy actors that has transitioned so seamlessly, I believe, into very, very serious roles because he has the acting chops for it. In fact, I'd go as far as to say I personally prefer Carell in his serious roles, where he's truly flexing that ability to dive into a character and explore some pretty complex themes. And he's an accomplished actor in this especially. And in this particular show, he is great, playing a damaged and complex therapist who's mourning the loss of his wife and the ramifications of losing his son to what he considered a cult, Jewish orthodoxy. We explore his own issues as he attempts therapy on a deranged serial killer, played by Domhnall Gleeson, who again is just so great in this as well. So Gleeson has been an accomplished actor for some time, popping up all over the place and very clearly choosing his roles carefully. In fact, this is no different. He plays a serial killer, the John Doe killer, and we explore the psychological ramifications of a child who was deeply traumatized by his father and chose to lay out into the world in cold, calculated, and disassociated acts of violence and murder. But, as the name of the show implies, he is trying to change, and therein lies the show itself. Gleeson takes Carell's character hostage and continues therapy on his terms in his basement. Therapy in the neutral grounds of the office wasn't working, and so the great idea of therapy on his terms is spawned. Carell is chained to the floor, and an eerie, tense game of cat and mouse begins. Will Gleeson tire of therapy and dispatch someone he considers useless? Will he be cured? Or will Carell's character escape? These overarching questions are what propels the show to its finale, but it's the journey each character goes on that keeps you engaged. Carell's character begins exploring his own issues, given his newfound time. Meditation and therapy with his dead therapist begin to take hold in his mind, exploring and acting out scenarios, living the issues of the past and present through Gleeson's character's actions and coming to terms with what he himself must do to fix the damage of the past and what he did to his own son. Whilst Gleeson plays the serial killer so well, but it's the fleeting moments of emotion tied with the vagueness and almost lethargic-like disassociation that grips you to Gleeson's character. You want to find out what this man is up to. You want to know if he is who he says he is. You want to know if he can be cured or indeed if he will murder and keep murdering. The cinematography itself is fantastic, and there's some very, very clever camera plays and framing paired with a great sound design, like a heavy Toyota truck rolling in. The sense of foreboding you get from this, because you know it's Gleeson's truck, And each time you think to yourself, has Gleason's character returned? What does that mean for Carell's character? What has he done? What new-found item is he going to bring into the basement? Will it be a body? And all this builds to this gripping show's appeal. There are actually elements of fantasy, and these elements of fantasy begin pouring through Carell's character. Almost reliving Auschwitz was something I was not expecting, given that he himself was Jewish but claiming orthodoxy was a cult, due to the damage it had done to his relationship with his son and the matriarch of the family. But it was fantastic all the same, as it was not gratuitous, and it was thrown in at just the right time for Carell's character to accent moments of pure peril and desperation that he must be feeling and must be going through. Essentially, these elements of fantasy were done to accent that pain. He materialised the gas chamber in his mind because he really, genuinely had no escape. As a therapist, his own mind was against him. As a therapist, his own mind was as much a prison to himself as the literal prison he was held in within the basement of Gleason's home. This whole show is very well put together, and it's something I can wholeheartedly recommend. It culminates in an almost beautiful ending. Although, if you read interviews, Gleason has even stated that he wouldn't have picked it if it had had a happy ending. However, I myself would argue that there was a sort of resolution at the end, and again, a subtle beauty about what each character's journey ended on. So if you've not watched this, I would strongly recommend it. And if you have, I'd love to know what you thought of it. This show, again, is about the journey each character goes through, exploring one another's journey via one another. The patient is the therapist, and the therapist is the patient. It's a beautiful show, one I can strongly recommend. So like I said, if you're new here, please do hit subscribe. If you're not, and you're a returning subscriber, thank you. And do hit that thumbs up button on the way out. Thanks so much, guys. Take care.